This video is going to walk you through the exciting and wonderful world of creating tasks. Now, creating tasks and subtasks, and in general building projects, is really in the domain of project managers. They might have different names. Sometimes it's an account coordinator, sometimes it's a managing editor, but if you're not sure if you're a project manager, it's probably best to ask someone from the programs team. But assuming you do have the ability to create tasks in teamwork, and you have to set up a project, this is going to walk you through very quickly how to do that. Now, when you go into a project, in this case I've got one that's pre-populated with some task lists, but in general it starts off as blank. Every task has to live in a task list, and it's pretty easy to find that. If you don't see the screen, hover over here to tasks. This is where you want to be. There are quicker ways to add that. I'll show you at the end. Click on Add a Task List. In general, we create task lists based on phases of projects, so it's sort of like a mini project within a project. You can create one from scratch, but because already a lot of the work has been done and our projects are very repetitive, you can scroll through this list of task lists to see one that matches. So for CAA, we've got a lot, but there's also this group of basic task list types. So in this case, we're going to look at the basic story development task list. Once I click on that, it pre-populates with all the different tasks and subtasks in this list. It's really convenient and also has all the dates pre-programmed out. You'll need to adjust them when you adjust your start date, so be careful it doesn't work perfectly, but it will save you a lot of work creating one from scratch. You can also change the defaults for who these are assigned to. This is a great way to do things, but in this case, because this is a tutorial, I'm going to show you how to do it from scratch. So here we are creating a task list. We're not going to use the advanced. We're just going to say it's a test. You can put notes about this task list in here, and in the case of batches of stories or different phases, this is a great place to list which components are in here, general notes that people should know at the top of the file. So let's say it's a batch 1. We could say the stories are in here are the table of contents, the cover, and the masthead. If you have different things for a digital project, that's fine. I'm a print person, so we're keeping it print-centric for this time. Create the task list, and you'll see that it has no tasks in this list yet. So let's add the first task. Simply describe the task. Say in this case, it's reviewing content. And use the drop-down list to choose who should do it. In this case, it's going to be Anna. There's another video that talks about notifications. In this case, I'm going to notify her by email because it's a new project. Select the start date. This is the date the soonest that she could begin the task, and the due date. This is when she should actually have it finalized by. There's a lot more detail that we like to add to the task list. The minimum is a short description of the task if this isn't enough itself, and the amount of time that you expect it to take. Project managers should be well familiar with this. In the case of reviewing content, it usually takes about half a day or 4 hours. You can also send notes to people, list them as followers, and when things change on this, they'll receive little notifications. Again, notifications, don't do it too much, but in this case, perhaps it's really important for Jonathan to follow her progress on this. Dependencies are something that project managers are familiar with setting up. Teamwork doesn't do it perfectly, so for now we're not going to walk through it. You can also create repeating tasks. If something needs to be uploaded every week, this is a really fast way to populate this. Once you're done, and in this case I'm not going to notify Anna because it's just a test, save your changes, and it will automatically prompt you to create the next task. You can continue on in this fashion, adding tasks and capturing them quickly. I like to keep the screen open in meetings. Sometimes when we're just doing a scrum and we need to figure out what needs to get done, you can sit there with your laptop and create task after task after task. Once you've created a task, sometimes you need to go in and edit it. That's what this pencil is for. Click on the pencil and it'll bring you right back to the screen that you had when you were creating the task originally. There's also a little arrow next to it, and this is for basically different settings on the task. Sending reminders, scheduling them, if you want to log time on the task, or if you want to delete it or adjust its properties. Another way to quickly capture tasks is in the overview screen. So from the overview, this is where you're going to get the review of all the different things that are going on in the project. And say we're in that meeting and there's something new coming up and I just really want to create a bunch of tasks quickly. Click the Add button, click Add Task. This is a whole different window and it doesn't look like the screen we were on before. This is because basically you're just trying to capture things that need to get done as you hear them. So maybe someone needs to book a meeting room. Maybe someone needs to make reservations. By hitting return, it goes to the next line, and you can keep entering tasks in this way. Once you add these 3 tasks, you'll note that I didn't really specify the task list. When we go back over to our tasks view, you'll see that there's an inbox, and in this inbox, this is where all the unsorted tasks live. Once you see this inbox, you can then take these and going to the far left where you see there's a little dotted box, it changes to a set of crosshairs, you can just drag that task into the appropriate task list. You can also hover over the anyone and click it. It'll open up this screen again and you can then assign it to someone. From there you can edit the task in all the usual ways. This is just a quick overview of how to create the tasks. There are lots of different functionalities and we'll probably create some more tutorial videos once you need to get into greater detail of dependencies and Gantt charts.